Hi, my name's Jonny Watts and I'm the Creative Director on ScreamRide.
So ScreamRide, kind of a spiritual successor to Roller Coaster Tycoon games, is that right?
I'd have to say no.
You've got to say no. Why have you got to say no?
Because we set out to try and make a game which was tailored to Xbox. We wanted to really distill the game experience and focus on two goals. Two goals being the old, which is super creative, build your coasters, build your scenery, build your flat rides, build your levels, share with the world. And then the new is moment-to-moment arcade gameplay. So when you're doing scream riding, as you're racing your coasters, to being able to destruct things by building these fantastic, flat rides and then firing it into buildings. And so we really want to plus and push that forward. So great game. Yes, it does have a little bit of coasterness in it, but it's it's a new game.
Okay, so you talked about destruction there. How does that come about? What does the player do? You showed us a demo earlier. There were buildings falling over, all kinds of stuff was going on. Tell us how that works in the game.
Okay, so starting off, we're really pleased with destruction. We've spent a lot of time in it. The buildings are actually made out of loads of different pieces. 50,000 physics objects is what we can push. Each object can be made out of wood, stone, glass, so they all have their own structural rigidity. So these big structures that you see are quite architecturally sort of advanced. You can destroy them by placing down an amusement ride and flinging the cabin off, and the little peeps in there, the guests are screaming, enjoying it, and they break it that way. Or you can build complicated coasters and shoot again your coaster car on. It's all done in really good spirit. It's all fun, lovely ragdoll animations, and the best thing is the guests get back up and want to play it again.
So what we saw before was there was almost like an Angry Birds element to it, in that if a building's kind of toppling over and then it causes a chain reaction. That's fair description, right? Well,
definitely the chain reaction. This is what we wanted to do. I would say things like Infernal Machine, Heath Robinson, Rube Goldbrick, all these Mousetrap, all these fantastic things is that real physics, and it's these chain events, and that's where the puzzle element comes in, is at the early level, simple, just fire and hit something you've done. Later on, you need to work out where the weak points are and cause these chain reactions to create mega damage.
You showed us some kind of racing sections as well. What can you tell us about that?
So that's ScreamRider. So ScreamRider is, yes, cool thing is you can build your coaster and get someone to race it, or you can play the ones which you've already built in career mode. And what you have to do there is you control acceleration, deceleration. When you go around the corner, if the G-forces are too much, you fall off, so you have to push in the opposite direction. Later on, there are jumps, there's monorail sections, there's track blockers. So it really is, lots of longevity and lots of skill. And at the end of the day, it's about getting the fastest time, and you have to compare your faster time to people on your friend list. So there's this continual, just trying to beat your mate.
So there's 3 career paths, right?
Yep.
So ScreamRider, Destruction.
That's called Demolition Expert.
Demolition Expert. What's the third one?
Engineer. So this is sort of 2 sections to engineer. One is the traditional building a coaster, where you have to build a coaster of X length, have X excitement, X speed. And so that's, a little bit of a nod to the coaster traditionalists, me, coaster nerd, sorry. But there's also then a destruction element to it, a demolition element to it, where you have to build your coaster and sort of aim your car and see, try and hit the weak spot and do it that way. And so yeah, it's quite original in that respect.
So you've kind of torn the rule book up. I know it's not called Roller Coaster Tycoon, but you worked on those games, did you know?
Yeah, I've worked on the Roller Coaster Tycoon series, which was awesome. I'm very lucky because I'm a coaster nerd, as I said before. Thrillville, another series of coaster games, and Coaster Crazy as well. So I'm well steeped in making coaster games. It's really nice to just push it in a little bit of a different direction, just focusing on 2 aspects. And that's what we've done with ScreamRide.
It must be quite nice to kind of screw up the rule book, not be tied to any kind of...
Every developer wants creative freedom, and to pursue a certain path is something which Microsoft afforded Frontier developments to do, and I'm really appreciative of it. So short answer, yes.
Is there anything that you'd like to add that we should definitely know about ScreamRide?
I just want to talk a little bit about the Sandbox and level creative, if that's okay. What I really want to say is that everything that you see in the game has been built by the tools that you have in Sandbox. And what we're hoping is that everybody's going to go out there and make creations even better than what we've done and share them on the internet using the cloud so people can play them, put them on YouTube. You know, again, I'm a game enthusiast, I'm a game developer, but I do want people to make games like I make games, so I'm hoping they're going to do it. ScreamRide is out on Xbox 360 and Xbox One. It's going to be the 3rd of March in the US and the 6th of March in Europe.